Good evening. Shabbat Shalom. Did you say, uh-oh, it's time? You do realize that you come here for this. And you're saying, uh-oh. Well, I don't know how to respond to that. Do you look gift horses in the mouth? I didn't say who it was. I just am looking in this general direction. I did not say Michael Barron, it was you. We call that multiple personality disorder, Michael. And it's an okay thing to have. It's just another ability. Multiple personality disorder. It's just another ability. You can have a minion all by yourself. Michael's police department. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Let's begin as we always do with things that happened between last Shabbat and this Shabbat that we want to celebrate. I'm afraid. Michael?
Last night, we went to a movie, and there were so many people that I remember and recognized that were there. And
Is this a Shechianu moment?
yes, it was.
Okay.
It was very warm.
I'm very glad that you enjoyed the movie, but hold your thoughts on the movie till a little bit later on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Wayne?
Our friends Bob and Kate got married.
Yes, they did. I think I know the person that pronounced them. Yes, I did the wedding, Michael. Officiated the wedding. Oh, stop. Deborah. Shh, 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 shh. Your granddaughter is now what? I'm sorry?
She's now 5 pounds.
Fantastic.
Stational age, 37 weeks.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank God. See, guys, our prayers do work. Anybody else over here? I said over here, Alan. I haven't got... When will you people recognize that I don't skip people? I go around and around and around. This is the guy who refused to drive an extra 5 minutes to see the movie with the rest of us. He had to go see it at Epic. I put my feet up too because there was nobody sitting in front of me. Anybody else over here have anything good to share? Wonderful news? Happy news? No? Your sister-in-law is here?
The one behind you.
Oh, that's what she's going to say. Okay, got you. Joe? Sorry, I'm blinded. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, but you went and saw it on a different day. You didn't boycott the theater that we went to and go somewhere else. He's a Yankees fan. What does he know? Rachel.
I got to spend time with my daughter, son-in-law, and grandbabies Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, you did. And they were in the soccer tournament, right? They do all right?
They won one, lost one.
Okay, 500 percentage. That's pretty good. It's a Hall of Fame average.
I wasn't going to say that, but that's okay.
Susan.
Oh, I wasn't going to say my sister-in-law's here because my sister is here after a much travel odyssey yesterday because she heard there was something fun going on tomorrow.
Wait, I'm a little bit confused. I didn't get the first part of your statement.
Michael said his sister-in-law was
No,
here?
Michael didn't say it. I asked him to say it. He said, no, you were going to say it.
Oh, but she's not my sister-in-law.
I think you missed the point. He was waiting for you to announce that. I'm going home. I'll see y'all later. Well, welcome back. Do I want to ride? No, I can walk. I also have a car. So yes, we have a very important service tomorrow morning, not just our regular Shabbat morning service, but we also are going to be doing a wedding vow renewal of Michael and Susan. And then, of course, tomorrow night, probably my favorite service to lead of the year, which is Slichot. So I hope that you will join us at 6:30 tomorrow night for that as well. Can we get started now? We are on page 7, or on the screen, for now, until it stops working. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. I'd now like to invite Ray Lynn and her friends to light our Shabbat candles on page 5. Nope, page 2. You have many friends. Oh, here. Mm-hmm.
I heard that, Joe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kadishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Ray Lynn and Wayne. We continue on page 5 with Kiddush. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho B'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, Ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat L'chaim. Please be seated. We continue on page 9. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat. Day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We continue on page 22. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. With a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together, you have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Together, the righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong. We continue on page 24 with the singing of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please rise as we turn to page 26 for the Chasi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala, uvizman kariv, v'imeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam ulal me'alaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei dekudasha brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'meru, amen. Baruch Hu, page 28.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La
Please be seated. We continue with Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhma poter sha'arim uvidvuna mishanei itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzivaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue with Ahavat Olam, page 32.
Ahavat Olam Israel, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shokbeinu v'kumeinu, nasiach b'chokecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, l'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, u'behem nege yomam ve'layla.
Please rise for the Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue with V'ahavta, page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu totafot bein einecha uchtavtam amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. So before we continue on page 39, I want to tell you a short story. It really is a short story. It's not a sermon. I was visiting a congregation a number of years ago. And when I say I was visiting, my family and I were traveling, and I was not working. But the rabbi that was in charge of the synagogue and I are friends, so he knew I was going to be there. So he told me in advance that he was going to recognize me and invite me up to do something. And I said, no, that's okay. I'm on vacation. You can say hi to me, but just leave it at that. And of course, my family, when we're not at the synagogue, always wants to sit in the back. Hats off to the back people. And we were sitting in the very back. And of course, I was sitting in the corner because if you've ever been to the movie theater with me, you know that I like to sit on the edge. It's just a Southern thing, I guess. And at one point in the service, this sudden wave of exhaustion just hit me really hard. And I had one of the biggest yawns I've ever had in my entire life. And at that same moment, my friend, the rabbi, was looking right at me. And I put my hand over my mouth and I just kind of waved at him. And then after the service was over, we had a laugh about it. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because I see everything. And when you yawn and try and cover your mouth, I know what you're doing. But don't worry. The only reason I'm not falling asleep is because I'm the one talking. So feel free to burp or, quietly or yawn or whatever you need to do. This is a safe space. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. We sing Micha Mocha on page 40. We continue on page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue with the singing of Hashkivenu / Let There Be Love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Hashkivet, there be love and understanding among us. Hashkivet, peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Please rise as we turn to page 46 for Amidah. Adonai, Sefaitai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lip, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, V'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. Morid hatal, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. So mech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al givurot, umido melach, Melech memit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yihalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We continue on page 55. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied. Dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with the singing of Ritzei, page 56. 56, yeah.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel u'tehilei ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lecho Karav B'nei Alavadecha V'chineinu Shefoch Ruchacha Aleinu V'techezena Einenu Beshuvecha LeTzion Berachamim Baruch atah Adonai Shechinato
Page 59. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the worlds at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulecha Na'eh Lehodot. We continue with the singing of Shalom Rav on page 60, which will be followed by a silent prayer. And then right after the silent prayer, we'll be on 62 with Elohai Nitzor.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Elohai nitzor leshoni meira ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולם כללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי 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 נצור לשוני מרע ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולם כללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי פתח פתח לבי פתח פתח לבי פתח לבי בתורתך אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולם כללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי 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 נצור לשוני מרע ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולם כללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי יהיו לרצון ימרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני 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 צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי.
We continue to pray for the safe release of the hostages. This Shabbat, our congregation continues to pray for the healing of all of those on our list. If there's a name or names you'd like to add to our prayers of healing this Shabbat, please raise your hand. Michael.
Jeffrey
253, join together to Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Before we jump into our discussion, let us take a moment right now, a moment of silence for all of those who have been victims of gun murder, period. For anyone who was not able to see the movie Guns N' Moses, either with us or at some other point in the last week, it is a story of a beloved small-town rabbi who becomes an unlikely gunfighter after his community is violently attacked. And just a quick synopsis. Moses Saltzman is a beloved Hasidic rabbi in a dusty desert town. When his congregation is violently attacked, police quickly arrest a young white nationalist who threatened them in the past. But Rabbi Mo thinks the troubled teen may be innocent. With no one else willing to investigate, Rabbi Mo becomes the detective, and as the bodies pile up, he must learn how to use a gun in order to battle the real enemy. At the heart of the film is the unexpected bond between the rabbi and an anti-Semite, as well as Mo's looming fear that he won't pull the trigger if he has to, and that he will. What our discussion is not going to be is a discussion about gun violence or about gun shootings, school shootings, and otherwise. We are not going to talk about assassination attempts or assassinations. We are not going to argue about political things. What we are going to do is have a guided discussion by me. I'm going to ask some questions, and I hope that you will answer the questions that I ask. If we get off topic, as long as we don't enter into a topic that's going to be somewhat controversial or offensive to others, that's fine. But please understand, if we go down that road, I will stop the conversation and either move on to something else or just move on from the conversation. I think you guys are all adults, and I think we can have a conversation about this. Guns N' Moses is a unique edge-of-your-seat thriller with Hollywood production values and traditional ethical values. It asks questions other movies don't and brings communities together that other movies can't. Here are some questions to spark a lively group discussion after you've seen it. Question 1. Guns N' Moses presents several different kinds of anti-Semitism, as well as people who exploit this ancient brand of racism for their own personal benefit. Where do we see examples of this in the real world? But before we answer that question, where do we see examples of it in the movie first? Yes, Barbara? What is that an example of? So it's reverse racism in a way. Okay. Oh, okay. I heard a thing was that. Okay, so that's one. I know who was at the movie yesterday. I will call on you. Yes, sir.
Someone was riding around with 88 on the car.
Who the rabbi didn't even know what that was. Isn't that interesting? Rabbi Mo didn't even know what 88 was. And if you don't know what 88 is, it's a trope going back to the Nazis. Yes, exactly right. Yes, Deb. The swastika on the window, very good. Yeah. Yes, they did. The entire congregation, well, I don't know if we know the entire congregation, but the majority of the congregation did jump to it being an anti-Semitic act. That's correct. Yes, Wayne? Sure, the violent actions, being beaten up and getting shot at, for sure. However, the getting shot at was not anti-Semitic. No, I'm correcting myself because I said that was him getting beaten up outside of his car. Greatest minivan driver in the world. Anybody else? Okay, now let's take those tropes or ideas from the movie. Where do we see those in real life? And be as specific as you want. Come on, folks. We all live in the same country. Deb? College campuses, for sure. Often what kinds of pro-Palestinian, which often turn into anti-Semitic or anti-Israel tropes. Yes? Michael? We're not going to say the word. Oh, okay. I was thinking of another word, but that's still not good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What? Let me push back on something that you said, because I'm curious to hear other people's opinion. You said that this guy who was one person over from you in formation, yes, I understand simple logic, and he said something and then you fought him. Is that the right response? No, it wasn't at the time. I'm not asking you. I know that you probably reflect back on that, but it may not be the right response, but oftentimes that is the response that we jump to. What would Rabbi Mo have said to you in that moment? He says it in the movie. No, that's not what he would say. Give him a brownie. Very good. We got to talk about that whole brownie. Those were not homemade. Those were store-bought brownies. I've had many of those brownies. Rabbi Mo would say, when someone, what did President Obama say, or Michelle Obama say? When someone hits you, you go lower. You go higher. You go higher. You go low, you go high, right? So when someone comes at you with words like that, the response is to ignore. Correct. Well, duh. That's why we have Israel, isn't it? We have Israel to prevent ourselves from being ever in that situation where we can't defend ourselves. Okay. Yeah, Barbara.
When I was working at a school here in Ocala, someone said, well, why weren't you at work yesterday? I said, it was Rosh Hashanah. And he said, what's that? I said, it's a Jewish high holiday. And he said, oh, how come, where are your horns?
Where are your horns? I've heard that one. Yeah, Stan.
The reason why I didn't go, because it's related to what happened October 11th. Just for family, I shouldn't see the movie.
September 11th or October 7th?
Say it again?
Which one, September 11th or October 7th?
I'm trying to remember.
The trade towers, the Twin Towers, or
It was October 11th, the massacre?
oh, that was October 7th.
It's related to the film.
It is. I mean, the fact that they talk about how life has changed since October 7th, for sure. Yeah, that is absolutely a trope in the film. That's what the security guard for the congregation says to the rabbi over and over again. She says to him, "You need to protect yourself." Yeah, Michael. It's not in the movie, but it is a trope in real life. It's not in the movie, but it's a trope in real life. Hang on, Stepper. You already had one. Alan?
I left my native New York City to go to dental school in Richmond, Virginia. And freshman year, there were 24 of us in class. It's a very tight-knit group. And the guy sitting behind me said to me very innocently, "Hey, Alan, what does a Jew look like?" And
Did he know that you were Jewish?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you say, "Just look at me"?
Well, at first I said I left my horns in New York City, but I did go on to explain to him that we look just like anybody else, and there is that myth about horns
Mm-hmm.
that comes from the word keren.
And a tail, correct.
The horns come from the word keren.
The hordes come for what?
When Moses came down.
No, when Moses comes down from meeting with God, he has radiance coming from him, and he has to cover himself so he can talk to the children of Israel.
Between Keren and Karan,
Correct.
that gets misinterpreted.
Correct.
For 2,000 years, Beth Shalom.
Sure. Debbie, you had another one? Holocaust deniers. Like the guy like the kid originally in the movie. Jay? Oh, yeah. Sure. So in the movie, the young kid is online, and he's communicating with other people that he thought were of like mind. And that's where those other people that came, the ones that beat the rabbi up, that's how they met him, was online. They never actually met in person, or I think he said maybe they met them one time, I think, in person. Any others? Yeah, Joel.
When I was in high school, the rule was that if you didn't go to practice, you couldn't dress for the game. So one year, Yom Kippur was during the week, and I missed practice. I wasn't allowed. Coach Osborne said, "Well, you missed practice. You can't participate."
Yeah.
I thought it was to separate the church and the state, but obviously there was.
I know how you feel. When I was in marching band in high school, I was my junior year. I went to. This is so funny. I left Yom Kippur early to go to a marching band competition, but there was a youth group retreat the next weekend, and I missed the Friday night and the marching band. It was a minor competition. But I'd spoken to the band director way in advance. And I said, I'll be happy. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud now. I'll be happy to come early from Yom Kippur, but I'm going out of town for this youth group event. Well, when I got back, the freshman who had been marching in my stead was given my spot because I missed it for a religious event. So I get it. It happens. Harley?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of traditional media has quickly bought into Israel as oppressor and amplifies and buys any negative story about it.
Words like genocide and Holocaust are thrown around as if they. I say to people all the time, do you know what the word do you actually had this conversation with a family member of the bride at the funeral, and so you were there with this conversation, Wayne. Wayne was not in the conversation, but he was observing. The wedding, that's what I said. Oh God, wedding. I meant wedding, not funeral. I was having a conversation with one of the cousins of the bride who is Jewish, who lives in New York City. And I was talking with another, the brother-in-law of the bride, and he and I are pretty much online with the way we feel towards Israel. But this cousin from New York City was saying things that I don't necessarily disagree with, but I don't know if I don't feel as strongly as he does. Like he said things about bringing up Bibi Netanyahu for war crimes. And then he found out that this guy is also a supporter of Mamdani in New York. And I was like, that guy's an anti-Semite. How do you know that, Rabbi? Well, because I read. And then he said something about genocide, and I said how a Jewish person could use the word genocide to describe what's going on anywhere else in the world. I said, do you know what the word genocide means? The dictionary definition? And he started to say something. He said simply put, the most simple definition of genocide is an intentional attempt to destroy a culture or group of people. Intentional is the key word there. Genocide does not mean that your population triples in growth over 10 years, which is what's happening. Does that mean that everything that Israel is doing is right? No. Does it mean I agree with every decision that the Israeli government is doing? No. I don't believe that my own country is. For my whole life, I have never had a president that I agree with everything that he did. Not she yet. It's coming. But the point is that you can't throw words around that you like genocide or Holocaust unless you know what you're talking about. Glenn.
The movie has multiple layers in it. One layer we haven't talked about is the parallel to the movie Chinatown with Faye Dunaway and Jack Nicholson, which are talking about civic corruption and the environment. They talk about water.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that is the underlying cause of the problem, but doesn't matter, does it? I mean, when we walked out of the movie, Bacha looked at me and she said, I don't understand about that whole land deal thing. I said, you don't really need to. The land deal thing. I said, you don't really need to. You need to know that it was a corrupt situation that included people, and then they used anti-Semitism and hate to blame it on. So that's true. It's a correct. Yeah, Bill.
So, one of the things the movie showed me was when Rabbi tried to explain to the young man about history, a little bit about history, and going to Christopher Lloyd and explain to him what the Holocaust was about. There is such a lack of teaching in this country to the youth of what's happened and what's going on.
So I would condense that, because I don't want to go too far off topic. I would condense that to say that there is a problem with our educational system. Period. I don't want to go in either direction on that one.
And what Hamas has been doing successfully is they get onto TikTok and they are putting out so much crap.
Look, Hamas is. All right, I'm going to back up for a second. This is a little off topic, but it's okay. It's off topic from what I'm asking, but on topic to what's important. When I was in Israel the first time for a rabbinic conference, this was 10 years ago, 11 years ago, whenever anyway. And we met with the minister of, I forget what her title was, but her job was basically to run the social media for Israel. Like, that was her job. She created these videos, like these really gorgeous women in bathing suits running down the beach, playing, telling to people to come to Tel Aviv. And her job was just to sell Israel to the outside world. So one of my colleagues asked the question, how do you fight all of this nastiness in the world? And her exact response, I'll never forget to this day, she goes, it doesn't matter to us. Hamas they're not smarter than Israel. I would never say that. But they are using their social media assets 100 times more efficiently than Israel is. But there's a reason. You have to understand there's a reason. Israel's not going to give away its secrets. Israel is not going to give away any kind of information that would lead to the wrong information getting in the wrong hands. Hamas doesn't have that. They don't care. They don't follow by the same rules as every other organized society in the world. They're not an organized society. Well, they're organized, but not, as we would say, civilized, perhaps. So Israel can't do what Hamas does because Israel lives in a different world that Hamas lives in. Morals and values, that's part of it for sure. But you're right. We need to do a better, and honestly, Carly, y'all know my almost 20-year-old daughter, Faye. She said to me like 5 or 6 months ago, or last year point, she goes, Abba, I never would have wanted to go to college in Florida 3 years ago, before October 7th, because she's in theater. So she's got a lot of friends who are in the LGBTQIA plus community, and in Florida, that's not a good place to be if you're a part of that community. And it's been that way for a while. I mean, just with my sermon last week about what happened with the Rainbow Crosswalk in Orlando is a perfect example of that. However, because of what happened on October 7th, 2023, Florida is actually one of the safest places in the country for a college student to go to college, because we don't play that game when it comes to Israel. We may disagree on other things, but when it comes to Israel, and that's, being Jewish is a big part of our identity. All right, one more question, because we've done one question. I got to move on, Wayne. Is it fast? Okay.
Going back to anti-Semitism, Jews not being wanted. When I was a little boy, my father took me to the country club. Sign said no Jews. The Jewish people talk about the high ground at Ocala. Rabbi taking the high ground. The Jews of Buffalo built on the Canadian side, Erie Downs Country Club. Everybody came there. The Christians also were accepted, and the Buffalo Country Club went on.
Happened in Atlanta too, by the way. Real quick, by the way, when the main character, Dylan McDermott's character, was killed, what did Rabbi Mo say? He said, go out and do a good deed in his name. Okay. I had to pick one of these questions. Yikes. Let's try this one. The biblical story of Jacob preparing to meet his estranged brother Esau, Genesis chapter 33, teaches us a threefold approach to facing an enemy. Pray to God, attempt diplomacy, and then prepare for battle. Thankfully, most of us rarely confront physical danger, but we all face opponents. How would you apply this threefold approach in your own life? Pray to God, attempt diplomacy, prepare for battle. Barbara? Sometimes preparing for battle is walking away. I mean, what did Rabbi Mo do to the kid who showed up with the 88 on his car? He was nice to him. He invited him over to meet a Holocaust survivor. He invited him to eat a brownie. In that moment, that kid's whole outlook on that particular part of his life changed. It was absolutely a teaching moment for that rabbi. Harvey?
I was going to say, I'm not sure you need to think about battle in the way you're talking about it.
I didn't. What do you mean the way I'm talking about? I just used the word battle. I didn't describe what it was.
The movie, and it sounds like there's a lot of violence. I didn't see the movie. But any interaction you have with someone else, buying a car, selling your house, I mean, these are all interactions that can be confrontational. So what do? You ask God for the wisdom and the knowledge and the patience to do it. You come in hoping to make a compromise, and you have plan B. What happens if they're not well, then you have to take a hard stance, or you walk away, or you say...
We're not getting into a conversation on plan B, okay?
But I think that's the trifold strategy that works well in any interaction you have. It doesn't have to be a violent confrontation. It just has to be a way that you get along with someone else, and you have to have contingency plans. That's what Jacob did.
We had in this congregation a rather difficult situation occur in the last year, in which the board did something that I have never experienced as a rabbi. I've come close a few times, but we had to accept a congregant's resignation. It wasn't a happy situation for anyone involved. I went out to coffee with Alan Stern shortly after the board had our board meeting about this, and he and I were talking, and he said, so I forget exactly what he said, but he said something about using my High Holy Day sermons as a way to sort of talk about what it means to be holy. So, my High Holy Day sermons are looking at 4 different ways of being holy and what that means. 4 different definitions of the word kadosh and how we are holy in the world. Because at the end of the day, as Harvey said, our attempts to reconciling our actions or our words or the relationships we have with other people is wholly more important than anything else. Love is so much harder than hate. Hate is easy. Hate is easy. If it's God, tell him I'm busy. Hate is easy, but love, it takes a lot more. And I think what this movie teaches us at the bottom level is that the Rabbi Mo showed a lot more love until he couldn't anymore, until he had to take action. We're going to end it there because it's already 8:10. Say what? It's not past your bedtime. I usually sermonize until 8:15, so we're still good. Oh, Rachel, Rachel, Rachel. We turn in our Siddur to page 288, and I invite you to please rise as I invite the youngest person sitting down up here, with the only one, Rachel, to open up our ark doors. Not 288, 282, I apologize. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, Fanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, Yihye Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. Great job, Rachel. Please be seated. You are the youngest person up here sitting down, because you're the only one up here sitting down. We continue to pray for the remains of the ones on the screen to be returned to Israel so they can be buried properly. We also pray for the souls of the hostages that have been killed. This Shabbat, our congregation commemorates the death anniversaries, the yahrzeits of Rochelle Spear, mother of Diane Hartman, Mary Conova, mother of Fran Stern, Albert Colin, uncle of Ken Colin, Beverly Schaefer, cousin of Eli Rockland, Nadia Madorny, grandmother of Deborah Johnson, Florence Clark, aunt of Wayne O'Mell, Harry Schweid, husband of Linda Cartzenell, and we are in Shloshim for the final week for Lloyd Stern, father of Alan Stern. If there is a name you'd like to add to our prayers of memory this Shabbat, please raise your hand. Please rise. We join together in the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chaye chon of yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivorach le'olam u'lomei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'rechu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing as we say together, amen. Please be seated. And now I invite up our president for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Tomorrow morning, services begin at 10:30 a.m. And as you all heard, Susan and Michael Ahern will be renewing their wedding vows. The ceremony will be followed by a luncheon in the social hall. High Holiday Food Drive There is a box that we just brought in tonight in the lobby. We will be collecting food for the interfaith community from today until Yom Kippur. We are asking that there's absolutely no glass containers. Last year there were several glass jars that broke and made a mess, and they had to throw out some of the food. Also check your sell-by and use-by dates. Upcoming events, voters registration here Sunday, September 14th in this sanctuary from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and in the Old Tolls lobby between 12 and 1:30. The Old Tolls St. Petersburg Holocaust bus trip, there are still tickets available. It is October 21st. The bus will be leaving here at 8:30 a.m. It is $60 per person. It includes the bus trip, admission to the museum, and lunch. If you are interested, please see Herb Katz. Music Bingo is Saturday, October 25th. Tickets go on sale, or tickets are on sale. Doors open at 6 p.m. The game starts at 7 p.m. Advanced ticket purchase is $15. At the door is $20. One bingo card is included with each ticket. Old Tolls Trunk or Treat. Is that what it's called? Trunk or Treat? Okay. Thursday, October 30th from 5 to 7 in the parking lot. The setup begins at 4 p.m. Also, a sign-up sheet can be found in the lobby if you want to do any volunteering. There's also a candy collection box. This week's Oneg is sponsored by the congregation, and this week's Shabbat Bima flowers are sponsored by Barry and Diane Hartman in honor of their 39th anniversary. He's not at the window. Happy anniversary. Ted Schwimmer in honor of Marcel's birthday. Ruth Stern in honor of her and her twin brother Rolf's birthdays.
Let me clarify real quick about the trunk or treat. You're welcome to come and bring your car and sit in the back of your car and hand out candy to children. That's what it's going to be. There's nothing for you to do except bring your car and hand out candy. You are welcome to come in costume. I know that Herb will be here in a dress, but that is not a requirement. What else would you do? I don't know. There were some people in the congregation that looked a little confused when she was talking about trunk or treat. I'm just explaining what it is for those who've never been to one. Come with your car and give candy out to children. Last year, it was very successful. We had probably about 200 kids show up in total. So and it was pretty much all church people last year. It'd be really nice if we could have some of the temple people as well. Because the kids come from Kalesa and other areas as well. So we will continue with Hamotzi. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. And Rachel, our voices rise in song together as our prayer is joyfully sung. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Our closing song is Adon Olam, which is on the screen, but is also, if you want to follow it in the book, on page 321.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'it Nasav B'Hefsa Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'it Nasav B'Hefsa Kol Azai Melech Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach בטרם כל יציר נברא, להתנסה וחפצה כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא. ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך, בטרם כל יציר נברא, להתנסה וחפצה כל, אזי מלך שמוני, אזי מלך שמוני, אזי מלך שמוני קרא.
Thank you to the musical crew. And thank you to all of you. Shabbat Shalom. See you in the social hall.